Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. So today we'll see the operations that can be performed on vectors in R programming. So in our previous sessions we have seen how to create a vector and how can we access the elements of a vector. Now we'll see the operations one by one. So I'll demonstrate each and every operation by taking a simple example. So we can perform basically these 8 operations: the concatenation, all the arithmetic operations, indexing, multiple indexing, and range of index, modifying the elements of vector in both the cases using indexing and the condition as indexing, and how can we delete the vector and the sorting. How can we sort the elements of a vector? Coming to the first one, concatenation, that means combining two or more vectors. So let us open the RStudio and let me clear all the previous data, and we'll start doing with an example, right? So I'm removing all the previous data. Now take the one vector, a C of, let it be some 10, 20, 30, and take the another vector B is equal to C function of 40, 50 and 60. And simply you can combine these two vectors or concatenate these two vectors and create a new vector called some D is equal to C of, let us take A and B as a parameters to C. So print D, or you can in order to avoid confusion we can take it as a result. Okay, result. So take result. So you can observe the result is having all the 6 elements of both the vectors A and B. Now, so this is a simple way how we can concatenate. That means we can pass a multiple vectors as a parameters to the vector function C function. For example, let us take some D is equal to again C function of 70, 80 and 90 and pass the third parameter here A comma B comma D. So you will get all the 3 elements. So simply passing the vectors as an argument to the vector function will create a new vector combining all the vectors given as a parameters. Next, the second one is the arithmetic operations. So we can perform all kind of arithmetic operations on vectors like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, as well as a modulo. So all these arithmetic operations can be performed on vectors. So let us see one by one. Okay, let us see one by one. Print, let us take A plus B. You can see the addition of both, addition of elements in both the vectors 10, 20, 30 and 40, 50, 60. For example, if both the vectors are of different length, what happens? Let us check. So first vector is having only 3 elements and the second vector is having the 4 elements, and we are performing the addition, and see, you'll get an warning message. Longer object length is not a multiple of shorter object length. So we can't perform any operation. So one condition to perform these arithmetic operations is both the vectors should be of same length. So if both are same length, you will get the result as 50, 70, 90. So 10 plus 40, it gives a 50, 20 plus 50 gives a 70 and 30 plus 60 gives a 90. And instead of plus, you can also give the minus, that means a subtraction will be done. So 10 minus 40 it's minus 30, 20 minus 50 it's again minus 30, 30 minus 60 again it's a minus 30. And similarly, if you give the multiplication, it will display the product of all the elements of the vector. So 10 into 40, 20 into 50 and 30 into 60. And similarly, the next arithmetic operation division, you can see, so 10 divided by 40, 20 divided by 50 and 30 divided by 60. And if you want to perform the arithmetic operations, modulo, so use a double percentage to represent the modulo operator. So 10 mod 40 is a 10, 20 mod 50 is a 20 and 30 mod 60 is a 30. Because we know that, so if A mod B, if A is less than B, then A mod B will return A itself. Now you can reverse the expression B mod A. Now 40 mod 10, it becomes 0, 50 mod 20, so obviously it will, the remainder is 10, and 60 mod 30, again it's 0. So you can see 0, 10 and 30. So one thing we have to remember, if you want to perform the modulo operation, use a double modulo. Okay, next, indexing. So this already we have seen in our previous session. Indexing means we have to pass the index value inside the subscript of a particular vector, and here the index starts with a 1, not 0. In other programming languages usually index starts with 0, but here the index starts with 1. So let us create one more a vector with a more number of elements. So sequence of 10 comma 100 with a difference of 10, and see here print a, and now you can observe the elements of a are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100, and index of all these elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because index starts with 1 itself. So here you can see print of a of 4, that means a fourth element. So 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth element is 40, so we'll get the result as a 40. So we need to pass the index as a parameter, sorry, as a inside the subscript. Okay, we need to pass the index value inside the subscript. So if you give the -4, the element will be omitted from the given list. Whatever the element which is available at 4 will not be displayed on the screen. For example, if you execute the same code, so fourth element is 40, so that 40 will not be reflected in our result. For example, say I'm executing this program, you can see 10, 20, 30 and 40 is not available, so directly we are getting 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100. Okay, so this is a normal indexing, negative index or a positive index. Next, we can also pass the multiple indexes by using a comma operator. For example, if you want to get a multiple index, like we need to get the elements which are available in first index, third index, fifth index and seventh index and ninth index. So obviously we'll get, so we need to pass as a parameter, as a vector function. Okay, see, we need to pass a vector function. I'm sorry. See, we are getting 10, 30, 50, 70, 90. So if you want to pass a multiple indexes, a comma separated indexes, we need to pass a vector of that particular indexes. Vector of that particular index. So what happens if the index is not available? For example, a of 20. So it will give NA, not available or not applicable. So it will return NA. So multiple, if you want to give a multiple, so give the multiple indexes as a vector. 1 comma 10, so you'll get the values 10 and 100. And other than this multiple indexing, we can also give the duplicate indexing. So if you want to give the duplicate indexing, comma 1 comma 3 comma 10, so you'll get the elements. Even though you are giving a multiple times 1, you will get a multiple times the same element. If you are giving the multiple times a 10th element, in the result also we will get the multiple times a 10th element. So duplications were also applicable. Okay, and the next one is a range of index. Instead of passing a vector of indexes, we can give the range of index by using this one. So vector name inside the subscript, in the place of index we can pass the index range using the colon operator. Usually we call this as a slicing operation in Python. So I'll give 1 to 5. So it will display all the elements with the index values 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. See, and both the indexes are included, not excluded. Okay, so it will start extracting the elements from 1, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4 and index 5. Because here we are mentioning the index range as 1 is to 5. So total 5 elements will be displayed. And the next one, how can we modify the elements of a vector? So we know that we have created a vector, and how can we modify the vector? So one is by using indexing. So simply by calling the index, we can reassign the value. So a of 4 is equal to 0, and again once again I am printing a. So this is a value without reassignment. Before reassignment 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100, and after that the next statement is I am assigning 0 to fourth index element. So whatever the element which is available at the fourth index, the 40 will be replaced with this value 0. Okay, so this is how we can modify the existing vector. And one more thing, we can also give the condition as indexing. Condition as indexing. So you can also give the condition. For example, a of 4. What happens here? So you'll get a fourth element. So here you can give a greater than 40. Inside the index, we can pass the condition. So whenever the condition becomes true, then only the element will be returned. So first 10. 10 is greater than 40, false. No, next element. 20 greater than 40, false. 30 greater than 40, false. 40 greater than 40, false. 50 greater than 40, true. So 50 will be printed. 60 greater than 40, 60, yes, true. 60 will be printed. 70, 80, 90, 100. So you can see we'll get the elements from 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100. So instead of giving the index, normal index or negative index, we can also give a condition as an index value. Right? And the next one is a deletion. How can we delete the existing vector? So here deletion means assigning a null value to that particular vector. So here I'll give a is equal to null. So automatically the vector a will be get deleted. You can observe here. So print a, we got a null. Okay, so there's a simple way how we can delete the vector. And the last one is a sorting. So how can we sort the elements of a vector? So here we can sort the elements in a ascending order or a descending order. For example, let us take the vector in a random way. So I'll go with the 50, 10, 40, 20 or 30, 20. So I'll take this one, and now you can observe the same elements will be get printed. So you can see the difference 10, 50, 10. These are unordered. Okay. Now let us check with the sort function. So sort of a, which will give the sorted order. See, all the elements are in sorted order. That means ascending order. Ascending order. By default, the sort function will arrange the elements in ascending order. So if you want to get the same thing as a descending order, so we have to pass one more parameter inside the sort function called decreasing. So decreasing is equal to true. The keyword true, right? So true should be a capital letter. And by default, the decreasing will be false. So that's why we are getting the elements in a ascending order. Now you can observe the elements will be in descending order. Elements will be in descending order. So by using this simple parameter descending, and we are just giving true value for this decreasing, automatically all the elements will be sorted in a descending order. So these are the different operations that we can perform on vectors in R programming. So hope you understood this one. Let us stop here, and if you are having any doubts regarding these operations, feel free to post your doubts in the comment section. Definitely I will try to clarify all your doubts. If you really enjoyed my session, like my session, share my session with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.